Hi everyone, welcome back to Digitally Tired because the internet is exhausting. My name is Chriz Lee, and I'm here with the one and only Abigail Ring, former chief of photography of the Irish music magazine Hot Press.
Hello, how are you?
Great, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah.
I feel like this has been a long time in the making because we've known each other for like about almost 2 years now.
Yeah, almost
year and
2
a half.
years.
And you've just done so much in those 2 years involving just music and concert photography. But before we get into all of this here, how did you start in photography?
So, when I was little, so like last year. No, I always took photos with my friends, like out and about, and my friends want to take photos of nature, and I always want to take photos of them. And I was like, this is kind of cool. And then when I got into high school, I started to take it more seriously. So I asked my principal. I got dressed up all nice and went to him and was like, may I take photos of sports here? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And then I got started doing that, and I loved it.
In sports photography?
Yeah, in sports.
Okay.
That was my start.
And did you already have your own camera?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't need a loan or anything from the school.
Did you know what camera to get? Because I definitely did it when I started taking pictures. I was just like, this looks like a camera that can take some photos.
Yeah.
I think my first camera was like a Coolpix.
Yeah.
Just long range zoom type of camera, and it was just affordable.
Right. So, yeah, I went through that as well. I had like a point and shoot like red camera that made like a cool noise when I clicked it on and it like came out. And I was like, whoa. But I was lucky that my mom actually had an interest in photography. So she bought a Canon Rebel T5.
Yeah.
Like back when they came out.
Yes.
And she was like, this is going to be great for taking photos of birds. And then it was never in the house because I always had it somewhere else.
Like, who was taking photos of birds? Her?
My mom, yeah.
Oh, okay, she got it for birds.
Yeah, it was never there.
Okay.
So it just slowly evolved into be mine. And then eventually she got me a T7. And she's like, please stop using my camera. And so she got me my first camera.
Oh, that's sweet. That's awesome.
And I stuck with Canon, so.
Okay. Yeah, I also still use Canon to this day.
Makes it easier.
How long did you last in sports photography for?
Just through school.
Okay.
Yeah, I always thought I would make my return back. I still might. But as of right now, I've sort of moved away from it. But
when did you realize that you wanted to make it into, a living? When did you want to start doing photography for a living?
I was one of those kids where like people didn't really emphasize that you could do it for a living.
Right.
So I like took photos and was like, this is so cool, but I'm going to be like a computer scientist or something.
Yeah.
And then I started touring colleges with my older brother.
Okay.
And they were like, we have a photography program here. And I was like, this is a real thing. I can do this for a living. So I toured a couple of schools and ended up going to Drexel to study photography.
Okay.
And was like, this will be my life now.
And that only enhanced what you already knew and what you wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I already knew. I was like an odd kid. Like most kids don't know what they want.
Yes.
I was a kid where once they were like, you can make money doing this, I was like, let's do it. Yeah. I was like, that's fine.
That's kind of similar to my experience growing up because I knew that I wanted to do something more like video related, but because I grew up in the early 2000s when I was like in middle school and high school. I got into high school like in 2008, I think. So by that point it was all about computers. Like you gotta have like an office type of job. Like this is, you gotta learn how to use all the words and the Excel and all that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I went to in high school. But like after work, I was just hanging out with my friends, just doing videos and taking pictures because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until college that I was like, you know what, film and photography it is. So all of this this is specifically the Hot Press magazine.
Yeah, this is my last year wrapped.
Right.
Yeah.
This is Abigail Wrapped.
This is Abigail Wrapped.
So how you were born and raised in Ohio.
Yeah.
And yet you ended up becoming the chief of photography for Hot Press in Ireland.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So in college, we had to do a co-op or like an internship. And most kids were like, I'll do mine in Philly where we were. And I was like, I'll go to Ireland. It wasn't necessarily Ireland, but it was like right out of COVID. So my school was only going to like 2 countries just to reintroduce going abroad again after COVID. And it was 2 English-speaking countries. So naturally, it was Ireland and Singapore.
Okay.
So like really polar opposites of one another. And I applied to both programs, and by sheer luck, I only got into one.
Nice.
And it was Ireland, and I loved it.
There's a multiverse where you went to Singapore.
Yeah, and I'm still there or something. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your role? What is your role in this as a chief of photography?
Yeah, I guess I never even transitioned to the end. But after my internship, then I got a job. I got the call like years later to come back and take over. But as chief of photography, I was like super nervous. I mean, I got the call at 22, age of 22, to come take over the department like of this company where I was an intern.
Yeah.
So I was really shocked. But coming back in, I mean, I was in charge now of other people. I was running a department. I had interns, and I had to conceptualize shoots from the start, work with design teams. Wow. I was the manager of a studio. All of a sudden, I was like, cool, nice. I used to hold people's lights, and now I'm taking the photos.
You were that good.
I guess so.
I mean, they trusted you enough to give you so much power in a way.
Yeah, I managed like a physical archive because the magazine turned 50 this year. We had a big 50th party. Congrats, hot press. But yeah, there's 50 years of like digital negatives in a basement that I had to manage and keep track of and pull out whenever they needed.
Was that entertaining in any way? Like looking at old photos?
Maybe? Oh yeah, I mean that part is great. Yeah. I think the 50 years of just like, hey, could we have this one photo of Sinead O'Connor from, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me go downstairs and look, and then scan it. I was also in charge of the digital archive, which was more manageable for like my age, I think. Yeah. But yeah, so I was doing all of that, and then at night I'd go to concerts, oftentimes with people that I met during the day. Okay. Which was really cool.
So concert photography was like part of the job itself.
Yes, 100%.
Before we jump into that specifically, so you said they put you in charge of literally everything, it seems.
Images. Yeah.
Okay. So how you, being a foreigner, like dealt being in charge of like a full Irish company? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some challenges to get over, like initial challenges. Of course, I had been there before, so I knew some of the stuff. But as an American, I mean, there's definitely differences in the industry in different countries. Whatever, Irish people are more laid back, which is great. For me, going that way, maybe coming back, it's a little more tough to start saying Mr. and Mrs. again. That's not really a thing you do over there. But yeah, just like, I don't know. I think it was maybe more of like an internal pressure of trying to get the respect of other people. Of course, I'm a young woman and a foreigner. So talking to people, it's like, oh, she's a little kid. Who let the little kid in? So maybe it was more of an age.
And then you go, I'm the sheep of, I'm the
like,
COP.
Do you know what you're talking about? Absolutely not. But yeah, maybe more internal pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's something you enjoy. Like, there was never a time where you felt like, I don't belong here.
No, not really. Again, it was like my second time around, so I had a little bit of a. You do get gut checks sometimes. Like, you feel like you fit in and you sound just like everybody else. Not that I think I have an Irish accent, but you know what your friends sound like, and then all of a sudden someone be like, "Oh, where are you from?" Oh, I guess maybe I'm not from here and I don't fit in. Yeah. So there is a little bit of like, okay, well, you are a foreigner, and you get gut checked once in a while.
It's funny you say that about like what you sound like, because I'm from Puerto Rico, so Spanish is my first language. So when I'm here, people sometimes do question my accent, but also in Puerto Rico, people also question my accent. So who knows? But going back to you, so one of the things that you did, you were like editorial. You did editorial photography for all these musicians and bands coming and having a concert. I'm assuming in that country.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you manage to stay creative, taking so many photos of different bands and musicians like on a monthly basis?
Yeah, it's tough for sure because our studio is not the biggest. So we didn't have unlimited options or unlimited budget and all of that. I was lucky enough that I worked with a team of interns. We had concept days where I forced them to take photos of me. Okay. Because I actually just wanted like a completely different perspective on everything, how they would approach photos and what I would suggest for them if they get stuck and whatever. But we would just take random props and try and use them in any way possible. Of course, Irish weather isn't the best, so it's not like every single day we're going outside. Sometimes we are stuck in that studio. I always told my interns, because they asked me for my process a lot, it's sort of like a shower thought to me.
Abigail Ring, what is your process? Tell us your secrets, please.
And I'm like, no, these are for me. But, I mean, it depends on the bands. I look through their social media. I'm big on colors. I ask people what color their music is to them. I feel like that gives you a good sense of like the vibes that they're looking for. I think when they come in, they're already promoting something. which is really helpful.
Yeah.
So if a person comes in promoting an album with a big eye on it, like some photos I've shown you, then I can use their eyes in the photos. Things like that. Things that relate to them and make sense for them. Because they're talking in editorial pieces. So they have to go with the words. They can't just be standalone images.
Right. Okay, so that does help. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of that as well.
So since you started working there, do you remember the first cover that you had? Like, what was the first photo shoot that appeared in front of the magazine?
So it's here.
It's here?
It is this one.
Is this one?
Yeah.
So you shot this, and this is...
The first.
The first. Wow. Look at
that. So I have to say, there's... I didn't know that this was the cover at the time.
Okay, they didn't tell you this was going to be the cover.
No, which is perfect because all the pressure was off. There was no pressure for me to shoot the cover because I didn't know that it was the cover.
So before you continue, I'm sorry. Do they tell you in advance?
The rest of them, yes.
Okay.
Most of the time, yes.
Okay, so you do know when it would become the cover.
Yes. Okay. So sometimes we get to the end of a publication period and we're like, we don't know that we found the cover yet. Maybe we'll revisit some of the stuff we already have. And it got decided that they were going to be the cover, which was great because once it got announced, I was like, it's already done. Like all the, the pressure was gone. Looking at that cover now, I think it was a great first cover for me, although I think my style has completely changed in the year. So it's a great comparison to the other, like the most recent one, to see how much I've grown.
Right.
I think I got so much better within the year.
Of course.
And maybe I would have edited them a little differently if I knew it was a cover.
Do you still feel like this is still a great photo? Or do you look at it and you go like, I could have done better, like...
I think at the time it was a great photo. I think it stands on its own as a good photo. Okay. But as for me, I think I've grown as an artist and I probably wouldn't do it the same way again, which is like in personal growth. Yeah. So positives.
But you don't grinch at it.
No.
Grinch?
No.
Cringe at it.
No.
Okay, cool. That's totally fine. But so every other photo here is yours as well.
Yes.
It's so cool. Like magazines are always with like it's just this thing that everybody sees or buys, and then you just have this physical photo that's just with the hot press on the top, and it's just really cool to look at.
Yeah, and seeing it around town is surreal.
I can't even imagine.
It's so cool. Yeah, I have to say.
How did it ever worn off? Like seeing it around, or every time you see it, you go like, that's...
I'm like, guys, I took that. No, it was so cool, and it catches you off guard because you have like certain like stores that sell the magazine, but then you actually walk in, you forget, and then it's there, and you're like, oh, there's my photo. Yeah, it never wears off. It's so cool.
Do you have like a copy of like every cover you've had?
Yes, I do. Yeah, these are from last year, and this one was from this year.
This is the most recent one?
Yes.
Look at that.
Florence Road.
Florence Road.
They're coming. They're touring the U.S. right now, so
that is cool. So cool, and I love how they're breaking out through this paper here in the middle. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. And that was your concept?
Yes, it was my concept, and we did it a lot of times. Like we broke it and then ripped it and then shot it, and then they wanted it maybe a little bit more actiony, so they ran through it a couple times, and it was really nice at the end. I was like, okay, on 3, you're just gonna break the whole thing, because I was like, it was literally, we shot it right at the end of December. It was the last day of the year for us, and I was like, you're just gonna rip it apart. So I actually have the action shots of them like breaking through the whole thing.
Nice. Was that turned into like a reel or a snap image?
I wish.
Just like,
yeah, no, not quite. I think it would ruin the magic a little bit, actually. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good day.
So not only do you do editorial photos, but you also do concert photography.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's a really surreal experience. I mean, I landed my internship years ago. I had been to one concert before that.
Okay.
I'm so glad that wasn't part of the interview of how many concerts I had been to, because the answer was 1. But like 3 days into my internship, they're like, we're going to send you to this concert in 3 Arena, which is the biggest venue in Ireland.
Oh, just the biggest venue.
And you're going to shoot the Black Crowes tonight.
Okay.
And I had been to one concert.
Right.
And I don't know, it's still that same surrealness for me. Maybe there's a lot more comfort and like, oh, I know the other photographers, I know the venue and sort of what's going to happen and all of that, the lay of the land, if you will. But it's still super fun. It's like electric, the atmosphere. So I just love that.
I've never been to like a big stadium concert. I've been to like I wouldn't say bars, but like venues. I've been to like small venue concerts, but I've never been to like a big stadium concert. So I can't even imagine how all of that, just the noise and the people screaming and the music beat and all that. I can't imagine that feeling. I am going to Bruno Mars this year though.
Yes, same.
So that'll be my first time. Then I'll be like, oh my God, Abigail just did this every other weekend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but not for Bruno Mars.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you do other types of photography besides concert and editorial? Is there any other type of photography that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the art of it, for real.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had an interview for a different job, since we're talking about it, I guess, where the guy was like, I'm not looking for somebody into the art. And that was like a huge turn off for me.
We're not looking for the art?
No, it was like e-commerce. He's like, I want somebody to just come in and take the photos and go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not the person for you.
Okay.
I'm into the art of it.
Yeah.
I'll take photos of flowers. I'll take photos of the sunset. I'll take photos of my friends and random people in the street and whatever I think is interesting.
Okay.
I love the art of it. I'll do anything.
I love that you stood your ground.
Yeah.
That you were just like just anything just for the money. Like it was just like, no, like this is not art for me and I want to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey. You do the same thing too. Anyways, when it comes to like these editorial pieces, how was that experience of like meeting this band, this musician for the first time, and then also directing them in that same day?
Yeah. So of course, there's like a way to approach people, but when you see some of these people, like these guys are DJs.
Okay.
You might have like an impression that you think will come up. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like an assumption just based off how they
right,
look. Yeah.
exactly. And I find that people are almost always completely different than you think. So there's just, I always say that photography is a personality job. At least my job was.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to adapt like on the spot. These guys are the most chill guys like ever. But their music is club music. So you're like, whoa, like, what is this? And it's almost always like that, like the exact opposite. If you meet a rocker, they're going to be the kindest, like, how are you people ever? And you're like, didn't you have like black paint like smeared across your face? Yeah. So you just have to be ready for anything and like adaptable. I think you just have to be an easygoing person. Yeah. I know what I'm looking for in the photos. So it's just how can I, as a person, relate to them so that they feel comfortable to get out of their photo shoot the most that they want and what I'm looking for. Yeah.
It's funny you point that out because I'm sure like, you know, music is like an outlet for these people.
Right.
So this is like their persona of like who I guess they wish they were in a matter of sense.
Sure,
but in real life they're just like, yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. People are just people.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's a cool perspective to have too. And then you worked with the team, correct?
I did.
So when it came to like shoots like this, how would you... And I'm sure because all of these people are somewhat in a hurry to get to their next thing.
Somewhat, yeah.
How did you manage the time management amounts, like all of that?
So luckily I know that beforehand. We're laid back enough that like me and the editorial team could decide who's going first. Okay. Which we also... The editorial team does the interview, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay. So it's like the same day. So a lot of times we might have like 45 minutes in total. Yeah. So it's like who's going first, photos or interview. And photos are oftentimes first because we warm them up. Okay. But loosen up. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, smile. They're like, and then by the end, they're like, okay, this is fine, and then they can move on and they go talk and yap to the editorial team for a long time. Okay. But yeah, I just warm them up. I don't know.
Do you feel like you have to be? Because you talked about earlier how you be like adaptable and like, but do you feel like you have to have that kind of personality to just talk to people and just make them feel, hey, like this is a safe space. We're just, I know what I'm doing. Like, you know what you're doing. We can work together to make it happen.
I think in my job, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it's fake though. I think there's like a really fine edge of like I'm pretending to be who they want me to be and being myself, but just like a decent human, I guess. Just... Like they just want to know that they can trust you to take good photos. They're not actually looking to be your best friend. Right. So just being adaptable in what you're saying and how you're reacting. I think it's important to react to what they are comfortable with. I always tell them it's what they want out of their photos. They're not photos for me. Yeah. Like I am taking them and I know what I want, but if they don't want that, then that's not what we're gonna do. Yeah. It's no big deal.
It's just being a professional.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, my face is not on the magazine. It's their face. So whatever they're comfortable with is what we're gonna go for.
Did you ever feel, because I'm thinking about it right now, I feel like I would feel somewhat of a pressure of thinking of other photo shoot they've probably done already? Like, how is my
Ooh,
work gonna
yeah.
hold up to other photo shoots they've done, like, and elsewhere?
Yeah,
Like, how
that's
did
a
you...
conversation I have all the time.
Okay.
I do a lot of research because you have to know who you're dealing with when they walk in. Even though their personalities might be different, you have to know what they've done. So if they've run through a field,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have them run through a field. But actually, it wasn't these guys, but another group I brought to the same place. They're like, we filmed a music video here. And I was like, are you opposed to being here? And they're like, no. They're like, it's like a throwback. Like, our fans will remember this. But if I were to bring them to the same place, maybe there would be like a tension of who's done this, who did it better.
Yeah.
There doesn't need to be that, so just doing your research, knowing what they've done. I think also there's like a relatability. If you see what they've done, you can be like, oh, well, they're comfortable with that as well. So it doesn't have to be, oh, they won't do that ever again. You could be like, oh, well, if they sat in this photo, they'll sit for me.
Yeah.
As easy as that, like one-to-one. So you can just reapply concepts that you know that they're comfortable with in your own shoot. And it won't seem like a big deal to them that they're doing something that they've already done because it's in a different environment.
And it'll also like keep with their brand.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. And not to like flip-flop, because we're going back to concert photography. Did you experience any pros and cons about doing that? Do you feel like it was something that you loved and adore and like you would keep on doing forever? Or do you feel like there were enough cons where you're like, if I could fix these issues, I would be 100% all the time?
Fix issues how so?
Like, just maybe having it be properly assigned to you, like enough time to prepare, that sort of thing, where you were gonna be.
Yeah, I think as the chief of photography, I would get like the last minute call of, hey, your team can't go to this, you need to go to this.
Okay.
So maybe this night where I plan to go to see a movie, I'm like at work, and I don't know who the band is, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Because concerts every night can be really draining.
Yes.
At the same time, I do love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. So there is a bit of back and forth, and there is unpredictability to it. I think I've been through a lot at concerts. Like, you go to these crazy concerts, I've been grabbed by people in the crowd, and security has been really rude. I almost got tossed by a manager one time for no apparent reason. He just didn't think we should be there.
Okay.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah.
But in Ireland, I felt really safe there. Like the security, you know them by name and by face, and they know me and that kind of thing. So, yeah, ups and downs, but I love it. It can be late nights at times and early edits, but
it's all worth it.
It's worth it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the small concerts lead to the big ones. So if you don't know them today, you might know them tomorrow.
Quote that. You may not know them today, you may know them tomorrow. It's pretty good. Abigail Ring. So speaking of big concerts, you've shot, then I have a few names here: Pitbull, Dua Lipa, Ray, Justin Timberlake. We have Aurora, The Weeknd. How were those experiences, and does any of them stand out as like, I can't believe I took pictures of this person?
Those experiences are so cool. Of the people you named, actually all but one I think were outside concerts, which is crazy in Ireland, guys. I need you to think about this. Like,
please.
90% of Irish weather, you're inside, and you're grateful to be inside. But for that like 10% of the year when you're outside, it's like you're flying, like the sun is setting, and even if it's raining, you're living your best life. And like I said, those concerts, like those big people, couldn't have happened if I didn't shoot a million tiny people in a venue that had no lights. And you build your character throughout those little concerts that get you to that point where you're super excited to be there. I think Dua Lipa was a standout concert for me just because it was my first stadium, so people were around me everywhere and like super high up in the sky, and I was like, this is crazy. It was just me and the label. And I knew the label photographer. I was like, can you take a photo of me before the concert starts? And he's like, we're not supposed to take photos before the concert starts. I was like, please, that's just one for my mom. Just for my mom. But yeah, so I got that photo, the wide angle. Don't come after the guy, please. He's helping me out.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I won't name him, so. But that was super surreal. And that's one of those concerts where you study the first 3 songs that you have to shoot because you need to know where she's going to be standing at all times. Yeah. So, like, it wasn't a surprise what happened in that show, but, you're ready. Like, you're on it.
That's incredible, first of all. Just being there and, like, you're not just like a fan of some of these people, but you're also there to work. Like,
Right.
how do you not find yourself just standing there and just listening to the music? You're like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be taking pictures.
I'm actually the worst, so I don't hear when I shoot. I don't know if anybody else has
Do
this
you
out
have
here.
like
Please let me know.
earplugs or anything?
No, like I can hear.
Yeah.
I do have earplugs in, of course, for
Yeah.
bass and all of that. I
Right.
feel like I would be wrecked by now if I didn't. But I even if I love them, and I could be singing the song while I'm shooting. After the show, I'd be like, "What was the first 2 songs?" I loved AJR. I still love AJR. They were like one of my first shows ever as an intern, and I was like, they never sang my favorite song. They never did.
Oh.
And then I was like in bed, and I was like, I sang it in the pit with them. Like I was right in front of them singing the song. I just don't hear when I shoot.
Okay.
I also think because now that I work in the industry for so long, even back then, like because you meet them and they're just people and whatever,
Yeah.
that I don't really get starstruck.
Okay.
I've never been like, whoa, there's,
I
you know.
definitely would be. Wow.
I have to like prep my interns too on like how not to do that because we want them to trust us.
I will get fired. I'd be like, oh my god, I love
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that you're a fan, but like that's about it, and then you have to like keep going.
Right,
So for
yeah.
me, I don't know. I don't get like starstruck in that big like, what should I do? Wait, what should my hands do? Like, no, I'm not like
you. I
that.
just think it's really impressive because like The Weeknd, I know that for his concert, I never went to it, but like he posted a lot about it. It was just like how big his staging is and how so many things that were happening. Like I would just be like hypnotized. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't just be, I'd just be staring to see just what's happening because there's just so much happening. But cool, I'm glad you got to experience just so many incredible talented artists. So speaking of still shooting at photography or even with like editorial, do you have any specific equipment that you use? Do you have any long lens, short form lens? Like what did you use to get the best shots in either circumstance?
Yeah. So for reference, I'm looking to upgrade.
Okay.
Always. I feel like that's the story of every photographer's life ever.
Canon sponsor.
Canon, please. I love you. I've only ever used you. In the best way. I use a Canon 60 Mark II. I've used that for like 2.5 years. I still love it. I think it's a great camera. A photographer's bread and butter is like a short lens and a long lens.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have both. You have to do it all. So I shoot with the 35 f2, and then my long lens is a 75 to 300. The 300 gives me a little bit of an edge. Most lenses are like 75 to 200. So, but that's a f4 or 5, I believe. So, looking to upgrade. Canon, hit me up. Yeah, I would love that. Those are my 2 bread and butter.
I just had to ask that for all the nerds out there that are just like, you know, what kind of equipment does she use?
They're gonna be like, she doesn't use like the R5, and I'm like, guys, that's what I want. Like, I just
Can't afford it.
Yeah, not yet.
So you mentioned earlier how you've experienced so many things. How did you handle all of it up until like this point? Like there was just, I'm sure there was like a form of pressure from all different directions, especially when there's so many big names attached to these things. How did you handle like burnout and all that kind of stuff?
Burnout is inevitable for sure, but the work never stops. So in the weirdest way, you just have to kind of work through it. I think I'm really lucky that I work with a team of people who sometimes are older, sometimes are younger, Irish, American, whatever, that will keep me on my toes. So there's not enough time really. Like as chief of photography, there's never like a day where you're like, oh, man, what to do? Yeah, no, there's never a day like that. You're always moving, you're always shooting, editing, putting out photos. The issue comes out, the next issue starts. So even if you're burnt out, I mean, I take time personally.
Okay.
So I started going to like a movie every week and reading a lot. I've read 13 books this year. Whoa, I know, huge nerd.
I mean, it's impressive.
It's just taking that time away from social media and stuff because, you know, you follow so many people that are doing the same thing as you and there's a lot of comparison. I think that's where burnout comes from. It's like, oh, well, they're doing really cool stuff and I'm not. It's like, that's not really true.
I mean, you're doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
but it should be an end and it feels different.
Yeah, for sure. And like you could shoot the same show as somebody else and they put out their photos and you're like, those are better than mine. There's always a comparison somewhere. That just taking time away from all of it helps. Is the best thing for me.
So speaking of that specifically about you comparing yourself to others, and let's say like I'm sure there's a lot of up and coming photographers out there that either want to do concert photography or just trying to find their niche. How do you have any tips or advice for them in terms of how to persevere in this industry?
Yeah, I think in this industry now, it's important to diversify yourself as much as possible, but also make like your style.
Yeah.
Your style should feel true to you. So I think pick up shows that are small. Everybody says start small. Contact your venues, people. There are Facebook groups for this stuff that you can get into that are looking for shooters. Like, it's not as hard to get into as people maybe think. It's then, because you have that access, what you do with it. So out of your shows, how much content are you getting out of this? And how much, like, how are you developing yourself? Where's your style? How are you different? Where do you fit into the market? Which doesn't come all at once. It comes over a period of time.
Yeah.
So shooting, everybody always says shoot as much as possible. I believe that to be true. It doesn't have to be shows. Go take photos of your cat. like whatever you're doing.
Skills.
Exactly, yeah. Hone who you are, and then it will show when you're working, even if you're not getting paid at first. Yeah.
And I feel like, because I'm somewhat a photographer myself, but I feel like I still don't really know if I have that much joy in photography. Like, I do enjoy cosplay photography, I do enjoy portraits, and I've shot like a couple weddings, but it has never been enough where I've continued to pursue that specifically. I don't know if it's a matter of like comparing myself to others and being like, I'm not at that level, or I don't have the proper equipment to be at that level, and that sort of thing. But it's definitely, I've tried a lot of things, and I'm glad that I have. So I guess it's definitely true what you're saying of like, just branch out, try different things, try to see what works and what doesn't work, and what you can learn from this one, and then put it into this other one, and just, grow as a artist,
absolutely.
really.
Yeah, because even when I'm not shooting, maybe I'll draw. And maybe it's the opposite for other people, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not very good at drawing, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. Maybe somebody takes photos for fun, and then it makes them a better artist in a different way. So just do what you love, and do it as much as possible.
Great. What was that quote from earlier that you said?
Oh, gosh.
We'll run it back later.
Yeah, run it back.
You might not know them today, but you will know them tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm like the next, like...
And that's just for this.
That sounds like a Pitbull quote. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you might not know them today, but you might know them tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's not just for artists. That's just for anyone doing any kind of art, like in any form. It's just keep doing you, and then eventually people will know you by name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Hey. Good job.
Thanks.
I think that's a great way to end this podcast, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for bringing these magazines and seeing like your physical work. Just it's so cool, and the fact it's from another country just makes it even better.
Yeah.
But that's just factual.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime, really. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at AbigailR_photos.
Nice.
Yeah, or in a venue near you.
Perfect. And then I'll let you know when Canon contacts me to contact you, and then we'll do a whole brand thing, and it'll be a great time for everybody.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know in the comments what your aspirations are. I feel like
I'll read all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
And then we'll help you personally on how to achieve them. It'll be $100 per class. See you next time.